what stood out to you about how you guys played on Saturday?
How we played, I thought it was good to see just the energy and the excitement. I mean, you come out there in that first series and, Coach Bates pressured them a little bit, but see those guys fly around and make plays that came to them. You got Phil Campbell coming off that edge with the safety in Series 1. Then Series 2, you come back with Damari Mathis, them trying to show a back shoulder, him flipping his hips, coming back around and making a great interception, then finishing it out. And you could just see that energy just go through the entire team. So that was great to sit back and watch. And it was good to sit back and watch the other guys as we got some other guys reps in that second half and a little bit in the first half. Was the excitement of the rest of the team, cheering them on, coaching them up. So it was really great as a whole for the team to sit back and watch everybody come together and see a lot of guys out there.
Who were some of those younger guys that got an opportunity that impressed you?
So from a secondary standpoint, obviously for myself, PJ O'Brien, I mean, he got 40 snaps on Saturday, which is huge. Then he got another 10 on special teams. So it was good to sit out there and see him communicate, just see him just over-communicating, which is great. You just see his mind going a million miles an hour, but it was good to sit back and watch him. He got reps. Then at corner, you got a chance to see Noah Bigelow get out there as a freshman. Then you got to see Javante Royal as well. So see those guys get out there. And then some other guys as twos get out there and get reps. So, within these first 4 games, I think at safety, we got 5 guys with over 50 snaps, which is critical for the season and as you move forward.
I remember talking about PJ a couple of times.
Who has?
Pat has.
Yeah.
PJ, a couple of, what stands out about him? What do you really like about him?
He's fun to coach. He's always, his energy level is here every day. I haven't seen the kid have a down day since he got here early enrolled last year. So he comes in here, he's a sponge, ready to learn and to go out there and compete. He has some great instincts, and the kid is a very good competitor. He wants to go out there and compete against the best, no matter who it is. Those are the big things from his competitive edge and his instincts that he does possess.
Some guys earn extra playing time going forward now after?
Yeah. There's some shake-up, there's some things, and, as you work through it. And now, at the end of the day, every single day in practice, as we watch the reps, everything's graded and judged, and those depth charts will always be determined on that Friday, going into the game. But, some guys got a chance to show in live situations some good things to pique our interest a little bit more in our eyes, perk our eyes a little bit more moving forward.
I remember talking to Pat right after the first game about Rashad Battle, and he said he felt like that was a player that could do a lot better than he showed in that opener. Where is he now compared to who he was 4 weeks ago? What have you seen from him?
I think Rashad had a really good practice today. I think obviously we're playing Georgia Tech, going down there for, the 6th year in a row, 3rd year. But obviously he's excited to get back home. He was in the film room this morning. I think it was 6:15. So we started the day at 7:30. He was in there with his pen and paper at 6:15 this morning, just locked in. So, and Rashad has continued to grow confidence in the position. Obviously, as you transition positions, there's different technique differences, eye differences. Just there's a lot of small little unique differences from the corner position to the safety position. And as he continues to get comfortable in there, he continues to grow more confidence. So you can see day by day, week by week, Rashad getting more comfortable in the position and growing that confidence moving forward.
With the secondary as a whole now, 4 weeks into the season, how would you assess that group? Obviously, a group that had to replace a few guys who went to the NFL.
Yeah, obviously we've been fortunate to coach some very talented players the last few years that have the opportunity to play on Sundays, and I think we're fortunate to coach some very talented players that are back there right now. So each week as those guys continue to get reps together, they're continuing to grow together. So I do think the young guys have done a good job, or not young guys because you still got Quez as a 4th-year guy, Damari's a 5th-year senior, so B. Hill's a 3rd-year guy. So those guys are just coming together more and more as they get out there and get out there together, get those reps together.
What aspects of you guys' game are you getting your players to key in on getting ready for Georgia Tech, first ACC opponent, and the challenges that they bring?
I think every single week you got to focus on yourself and your approach and your DB technique and fundamentals that you have to have. But this is going to be a tough battle. They're going to have a great home crowd down there, guys rallying behind. They just got after North Carolina pretty good, so they're going to be fired up. So we got to make sure we're locked in and control what we can control, and that's within us and taking care of our business. But our approach is always the same, and obviously it's the first ACC game, so it naturally, the intensity riles up. But, every single day, no matter who the opponent is, we're going to be locked into what we have to do to be successful.
Brandon's only started a handful of games, but do you guys view him as a veteran at this point?
Yeah, he got 2 or 3 starts last year. He's 3 or 4 this year. So he has a few. So he's still growing and maturing like the rest of those guys. He's still seeing a lot of things for the first time too. So he's still growing and out there. So not quite a veteran yet.
Go ahead, John.
I was gonna say, how have you seen him grow, and where is he at right now?
Yeah, you have seen a lot though. If you see Brandon from those games last year until this year, you can just see his coverage of how he sits in there, very, very comfortable. I mean, the kid is a very, very fast kid. You guys remember at Tennessee chasing down that long run from the quarterback. So just his comfort level of getting more comfortable in his coverage, you've seen a lot of growth there. And you just see how he is out there directing things and talking overall. You can continue to see that. And him and Eric working together, because I think Eric does a phenomenal job to the field of making sure we're all on the same page. That's one thing those guys have done a great job of in these first 4 weeks, of making sure we're all on the same page, all 4 guys back there.
Outside of the result and the energy, what did you like from your guys last week that gave you, confidence that what had happened the week before was just in the rearview mirror?
I like their mentality of how they approached that Saturday. Now, I'll tell you, these kids practice hard, okay? Even going into the previous week, they practice hard Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday leading up to it. And they don't take anybody for granted. It doesn't matter who you play. Like I say, their mindset's the same every single day, every single practice, and every single week. But that Saturday, okay, and when that game started, just that focus and that mentality, start to finish, all right, they wanted to go accomplish something, and they played with a purpose, all right, and I feel like you could feel that purpose and how their movements and everything about them throughout that entire day. So that was special to sit back and watch.
I mean, I know that, you have to have short-term memory if you're a corner, but Pett's system is what it is, and those guys are going to be out there by themselves a lot.
Yeah.
They're going to lose sometimes. Is there maybe more pressure here to stick a special kind of kid maybe to do that here as opposed to some other place where they might play a lot of zone or they might do?
Now, we never expect to lose.
Right, no.
I know.
I know.
But at the end of the day, in the secondary, you got to have short-term memory, right? You can't let one play beat you twice. It doesn't matter what position you play. If you miss a tackle in the hole, you can't hold your head and drop your body language and add body demeanor in the next play. You got to pick your head up, hold your head high, and go play that next play. So regardless of the situations you're placed in, all right, at the end of the day, it's a one-on-one, or not a one-on-one sport, but you're always lining up against the man across from you, and you got to be ready to win, all right? And if it doesn't go your way, you got to line up the next play just like you started the game, with the same confidence and the same mentality.
One of the things that Pat talked about, I think a lot of people were talking about going into the last game, was starting faster. All 3 games, even 2 wins, were kind of start slow. In this last game, safety, offensive touchdown, defensive touchdown. Is there still a focus, a lot of talk about doing that this week? Because doing against New Hampshire is one thing, but now in the ACC.
Yeah, you always want to start fast. Starting fast is always good, and finishing even stronger. So, you'd love to start every single game with a safety and a defensive touchdown. You win a lot of games doing that. But yeah, you want to go out there, and obviously, in their home stadium, you don't want to get that crowd and all that adversity on you quick like we did in Tennessee. So you want to start fast and hopefully remove that away from the situation.
For your safeties, how important is discipline this week when you're going up against a couple of quarterbacks who can, draw, pull back and throw on the fake draw, in that regard?
Yeah, very talented, both those guys. You see a lot of great things out of Sims and Yates. They do a good job, and Sims came in last week and gave a good spark and sort of plugged those guys forward. But yeah, you have to be disciplined, because, with those guys that can move and extend plays outside the pocket and scramble to throw, not scramble to run, you got to be disciplined with your eyes, and you have to lock on. You can't get lazy or lackadaisical for a second, or it could be a big play on you. So you just have to have great eye discipline. I mean, that's the biggest thing, and that's always the thing in the secondary. You always got to have great eye discipline on your keys and what you're keying, and the rest should take care of itself. But you got to have great eye discipline.
How hard is that to coach though? Because hand technique, foot, you can point at that, but eye technique is often sometimes the thing that's it's hard to see where they're looking sometimes.
Yeah, those stripes we always watch when we watch. So especially at safety, like you always watch the wide view, but you always watch that tight view, and you can tell exactly where those eyes are based on where that stripe of the helmet and where they're at. And it's a big thing, we mark every single day, so we'll grade the guys daily of eye violations. So if they had 9 opportunities on breaks, were they 7 of 9 with great eyes? Were they 5 of 9, or were they 9 of 9? So we'll grade that every single day to make sure that's a strong emphasis, and they take pride in paying attention to that daily and not getting lazy on being successful with their eyes.
Have you always done that since you've been here?
Oh, we have. Now we're turning up more. All right, we're turning up more because we had a few things that got us early on, so we're on that daily. But that is always something that you have to be hard on with the guys.
Seems like talking to players and coaches that classroom work is maybe even more important than what happens on the field. Has that always been that way? Even when you played, it was so important that get in the classroom, like you said, get with a pencil and paper and taking down notes all the time.
Yeah.
When did that become a big thing?
I think when I played, that's what helped me because it wasn't my athleticism. But yeah, no, it's always big of keying into your opponent and knowing what they're doing and paying attention for us if it's releases, whatever it may be. But yeah, that classroom work is always big. Just like you have a test on Saturday. I hope you don't just walk into the test or a math test, right? You got to study leading up to that test. It's no different in football. You know what I mean? You have to study daily of what you're doing and what you're up against. So yeah, that studying is always a huge part of it.
How many hours a week do you spend in the classroom with your guys?
Well, I know what the max we can spend with the guys is 20 hours. And what do we get? About 45 minutes of film a day. But the big thing is, and even talking to them after practice, like Brandon Hill, bringing those guys in later. So while we're doing meetings, those guys coming in as a group and them leading it. Coaching each other up, and obviously the tidbits that we give them as coaches, but those guys coming in together and being on the same page as a secondary all the way together. So that's a big part of it too, of those guys extra work on their own together, not just individually.
That doesn't count against the 20.
No, that's them. Yep.
Gotcha.
So while we're in there with Batesy, those guys will get together and we'll watch film where, they live over, on Forbes, and they'll get together over there and bring each other together and watch film together. So I think that's a huge piece of it. Those guys doing a good job leading on their own. That's big leadership right there, when they bring everybody together and watch that film on their own instead of going back, taking their naps, or I'll get to it later, bringing each other together and watch together.
When you look at that Western Michigan game, there's a lot of throws in front of 31, and I know not all of that is like his responsibility or it's just like catch and tackle stuff, but how did he kind of respond to you to, kind of getting picked on a little bit, I guess, scheme-wise anyway, if not personnel-wise?
Yeah, I think, Eric's a good competitor, you know what I mean? And, we've been talking about some things, slowing some things down and stuff, and I think he came in the following week and was ready to attack the next week against New Hampshire and this week as well. And that was a big thing, looking at that, it didn't rattle or shake him up at all. And like I say, not letting something beat you again, and, he still has got good confidence, and he's very, he's had a very good week and a half after that in practice and had a great game last Saturday. So excited to see him get back out there this Saturday and continue moving forward with what he did last week.
Bates said that after that loss, a lot of the defensive guys were hurt. In terms of the guys in your room, I mean, what was that feeling on the Sunday film room and everything?
So this Sunday felt a lot better than the previous Sunday. Losing hurts, you know what I mean? You put so much into this. These guys work so hard in the off-season training with Stack, the summers working out, the fall camp, the two-a-days, just everything. There's so much that goes into college football for 12 opportunities. 12 opportunities, that's it. All right, so when you lose one, they all hurt. So, like I said, it was good to see those guys rebound and have a blast last week. It was absolutely great to sit and watch up in the box those guys, then in the locker room, having fun and all that. So it was fun.